Morning, David. Morning, everyone.
Morning, Beth.
How's it all going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, all good. It's a nice, bright, sunny day here, which I realise not everyone has, so counting blessings.
Yeah, I can imagine is it around mid-low 20s?
It's about 16 to 18 at the moment, which I realise for some people is summer, but when you consider that our summer is 40 degrees hotter, you'll understand why I'm actually in a woolen jumper.
Climatizing. I can gather.
Exactly.
I can imagine.
Yep. Just arranging. Okay, so
I'm sorry about that. Just increasing my volume. I've never been to that. Your part of. I've been to Qatar, which I know is not too far away, but that was in March, and I remember that being
warm.
High 20s, low 30s, like 29, 31. It was lovely. Escaping kind of the English end of the winter, so to speak. But I've thought where you are now. It's probably not like other places. Like we had minus 13 here the other day, which was pretty cold for me. I haven't experienced that for a while.
Yes, that would be. The other thing to bear in mind is that we don't really have heating here either. We have air conditioning, but we don't really have heating. So when it's sort of 10, 12 degrees, that's 10, 12 degrees without heating.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly. So it's these little things you take for granted that, you have to get used to. So spinning around there. So today, Beth, I was just saying in the introduction a little bit there that you're new to the board, and you and I have never met, and we haven't really talked much ourselves. So this is a great way for me to get to know you as well as everyone else to get to know you as well. So, if you wouldn't mind starting off by how did you become an aromatherapist? What was your journey to where you are now as a therapist? What led you on the path to aromatherapy?
Mine's quite a convoluted journey. I've always been attracted more to the natural side of things, and as a child I always reacted better to more natural remedies than your conventional medicine, even though I obviously had to have both. But I think my first memory really was as a student in Edinburgh, and I was studying zoology, specialising in animal behaviour. But just around the corner from the university was this amazing herbal shop called Napier's. And when you walked in there, your senses were just overwhelmed by these incredible smells. And as well as they also sold essential oils. So I picked up a couple of bottles and was sort of playing around with them. And when I left university, I did a lot of traveling. I spent time in Africa, obviously here in the Middle East. And I wasn't entirely sure of the herbs in these different places, especially with different names and obviously different ways of gathering. And small bottles of essential oils just seemed a lot easier to carry and have with me. So I always had a few with me sort of throughout my time in Africa and the Middle East. But I didn't really get involved in it. I went straight into the sales and marketing, corporate, hospitality, that side of things. And it was only a few years ago when I was looking at these essential oils thinking, I should probably actually learn how to use these properly. And I did a little bit of research one evening, and I actually found that I had an IFPA tutor living a mile from me. And when I went onto her website, she had an IFPA diploma course starting within 2 weeks. So thanks to my lovely, very understanding boss, I actually managed to join the course, and every weekend and also some evenings, and I took a little time off work. I was actually able to do that diploma course, and I just thought, something, the more you learn about this subject, the more you realise the less you know, and the more you want to learn. So I'm like, I just want to do this full time. This is what I want to do. Wow,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, That's a really, really interesting journey, how you kind of picked it up. A lot of the time I find with how all therapists, we kind of get to where we are now is not by accident, but we kind of just fall into it. You're not, like you said, you weren't set out initially I want to be an aromatherapist, just kind of, you warmed to it, and it was something that you were attracted to, and it felt right. So that's awesome.
Well, the other thing as well is living, and I'm sure you see it, especially in China, living in different parts of the world, there are many, many local remedies, quite a few of which do actually fit in with aromatherapy. In this part of the world, no brainer, we've got frankincense and myrrh, which are, you find large sacks of frankincense and myrrh in the markets, which are different to the essential oil, but of course you hear the local stories about what it's used for. And also what out here is called black seed oil, which is Nigella sativa. An old Arab gentleman actually said to me, "This cures everything except death." And I'm like, okay, not that far, but it's a very, very useful oil. And of course it's black cumin, which is a very, very useful oil, which again there is a lot of out here.
I've never used the essential oil. I've used the Nigella seeds before, the black Nigella seeds in cooking, but you've just prompted me to seek out some of the oil. So I must drop you a line after this to try and give me some tips of who's a good supplier where I can get it from.
I don't know. Well, I don't know about the essential oil because it's a nut oil. I think it's more of a base oil, and the base oil is get out here known as black seed oil or black cumin. I actually put it on my children every day to nourish the skin, and also it sort of stops any cuts and bumps and scrapes getting infected. It doesn't smell particularly nice. It's quite a spicy smell, but not as. It's a little bit more potent, I would say, than black pepper. It's not particularly the nicest one, but again, I know a lot of people out here, they will also take a teaspoon of it, and actually, because it's just a carrier oil, non-essential oil, they actually take a teaspoon every day to keep away, well, if you speak to anybody out here, everything except death, so they say, but, that's one of their supplements that they use in this region.
Wow. Okay, is there any other, again, pleading ignorance with a lot of the other indigenous herbs / oils to where you are? Apart, and frankincense, of course, is the big one. But is there anything that the culture uses there or has available there?
For us out here, we are very much on the spice route, and Bahrain itself was a very big trading area, as was quite a few places in this part of the world. So I would say, yes, frankincense massively, not just the essential oil, but also the actual resin, and also edible frankincense that you can get out here. We have a lot of things like ginger, black lemon. People do a lot of cooking with black lemon out here, which I'd never seen before. You go down to the spice markets and you can see cinnamon sticks. I'm not exaggerating. They are that long.
Wow.
So pretty much spices are huge here. The other one, of course, which is massive out here, not necessarily from an oil point of view, but things like dates. Again, the local folklore says that the Bedouin in the desert would have dates with them, and one date or two dates in the morning would keep you going throughout the day until you had your evening meal. But you've also got syrups and that kind of thing, and coconuts. So a lot of coconut oil out here, but I think that influence has actually come over from the Indian subcontinent. But yes, we have a lot of coconut out here. Okay,
wow. Well, that's something I wouldn't have associated with, just because of climate-wise. Obviously it's a drier climate, and coconut is sourced from a more tropical kind of climate. So, but that kind of makes sense on the trade route. Where you are, so that's fantastic. And I suppose you have a lot of saffron as well.
Yes. Again, we're on the sort of the spice route. So saffron, cardamom, ginger, coriander, pretty much. If you go down to these souks, it's like you see in the pictures, you see these big sacks full of spices and people buy by the,
Wow.
you know, the kilo and a half kilo. But I mean, as being in the desert, being an island, yes, that's very true of places like Saudi or the UAE. Being an island here, Bahrain was once known as a land of a million palm trees. We're surrounded by water and we're a tiny island. So it's actually green, 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 believe it or not.
Wow. Well, okay. Wow.
So,
how about aromatherapy as such? I know, speaking with Sunita, who's not too far away from you, down in Dubai there, about the practice of aromatherapy and how she's got a school there and how she's working through the different cultural things there, that touch and massage, not complications, but just different cultural differences there. Is there anything very similar to Bahrain with with aromatherapy treatments?
It's a very, very new industry out here. Massage, yes, has been around for a long time, and people are very, very used to massage, but yes, we still have the cultural differences, such as females will only be massaged by females, etc., etc., especially with the local culture where a lot of women do not feel comfortable even showing their hair to a man. But when it comes to aromatherapy, it's still very, very much a baby industry. There are, literally as of last year, you can actually get some Tisserand products on the shelves, and people are starting to sort of see them and like the smell. But in terms of an industry, as in this is what it can be used for, and it's not just a harmless, hey, let's sniff a bottle or put it on our skin and nothing will happen kind of industry. No, it's still very, very unique. We do have some of the MLM reps out here already. So again, it's a case of trying to educate people how to use oils safely, and that they're not just use 5-10 every day. It's not a case of that, and it's got to be done safely. So I would say at the moment, a lot of the time it is fighting fires, it is educating people as to how they should be used safely, sometimes retrospectively, once there has been a reaction or something like that. So it's baby steps. It's baby steps, but we're starting to get there.
Okay, brilliant. And how about product-wise, like aromatherapy, skincare, like moisturizers, balms, lip balms? Because that's something you do as well, isn't it? You have your own product range. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have a product line. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to get things like beeswax and a lot of the butters out here because it is all imported. So the costs of things that you find out here of the raw products are difficult. Plus, of course, you would then have to go through the whole process of getting it approved by the ministry and every single thing sort of approved. So there are actually a lot of people out here who use traditional recipes and make their own natural products, as it were. So not using aromatherapy oils, but using the natural products. And so I don't really compete with that. But as I said, even for getting essential oils, it's really only been since last year that we've been able to see reputable essential oils freely available on the shelves. And of course, it's just a question of, especially using power of social media, getting out there that this is a good, reputable company to use, and encouraging more to come. Yeah,
exactly. Oh, that sounds really good, though. So, is there any a lot of schools out there, or is like the training side of it still quite lean?
I am the only IFPA member on the island, and
that's awesome.
Our members here either, or AIA, or anything else I've actually had a look at. So at the moment, as far as I'm aware, it is me, myself, and I on this. But it is a tiny island, so let's just put it out there. It is a tiny island, so there's plenty of opportunity for schools to come in. The other challenge we have is that currently the Ministry of Health hasn't, again, I think because of the lack of people out here, hasn't actually approved aromatherapy as a bona fide like practice. So in order for any schools to open, in order for anybody to be able to practice as an aromatherapist, that discipline would then need to be approved by the Ministry of Health, which is going to take a little time, and in the current climate, a little more time.
Sure, yeah.
It's a work in progress, but the island is our oyster. That's probably the best way to put it.
I suppose then that in a really good way that opportunities for your good self, you can only go up, I suppose, in that sense, because you're the lone aromatherapist there, so to speak. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities for spreading the knowledge and spreading the profession, spreading the therapy to the community there, which is great, which is really good, especially basing it with the appreciation for the spices that are already in the spice culture. So
exactly.
Oh, that's all. Whereabouts did you do your training? Your initial training?
With Sunita.
Oh, awesome. Oh, okay. See, again, that's fantastic. A Sunita graduate. Awesome. I love it.
Yes. Out here it's sort of, I think the aromatherapy community is very small. You train with one person, you then do something with another person, you get mentorship with another person, and it's just very much a network, really, and that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, I love it. Okay. I kind of won't keep you too long, but I do want to ask you, and I have to ask everyone this, I won't say one, but what are some of your favourite essential oils?
For me, I would say geranium. That's one that I never thought I would be attracted to, but it always seems to be my go-to. I find it beautiful for balance. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Mei Chang, which is a relatively new oil into sort of the aromatherapy pool, if that makes sense. But I just find if Mei Chang was at a party, she would be the girl who knew no one, who comes in and is dancing away and just leaves everybody smiling in her wake. So I love Mei Chang. And very
I love it.
Fun. For me, it's white birch. It reminds me of campfires. It's got fantastic properties for the skin. I feel connected to it from a very spiritual point of view. So for me, yes, I love white birch.
Fantastic. How about ones that you don't like? Because I always meet someone that doesn't like certain oils, whether it be even, I know people that don't like ginger, for example. So how about you?
I have never been a flowery girl, so my ultimate one that I know everyone else likes, I really don't, is rose. I really don't like rose, and yet you find a lot of rose out in this region as well.
Funnily enough, I'm with you there, Beth. I used to think it was because I'm a bloke and I didn't connect with the feminine aspect of it, but that's not true because there's a lot of other oils that, like geranium, I love, like you. So, but rose, I'm the same. I can't bond with it. I don't mind the rose hydrosol if you get a nice hydrosol spray, but yeah, I'm like you. I can't get on with it as much. I love the flower in that, but yeah, the oil.
And yet, people who have had such emotional reactions to rose, and I'm just like, I smell it, and it's just like not for me.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that as well. So it's good to know that I'm not a lone therapist, not the hugest fan of rose as well. All right, Beth. Well, look, I want to thank you so much for your time to catch up today, and nice to meet you and have a chat with you because, as I said, we haven't met ourselves before. But what I'll do, I'll post this on our Instagram and feed it through to our Facebook as well, and I'll tag you so those that are watching and those that are watching afterwards can look you up on Minta Manuka and ask you any questions there as well.
Absolutely, always happy to answer questions. Always happy to sort of interact with people. So even if you just come on and say hi, it would be lovely to hear from you.
Fantastic. All right, Beth. Thanks so much again, and I will see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely, sounds good, Dave. Take care and enjoy your day.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.